Hey guys, Tony here from Tectonic Byte, and this is the review of the Panasonic Lumix G85 camera. I'm not an expert in the camera field, so take this with a grain of salt. This review is just the thoughts and opinions I have on the G85 and why I believe that it is the best bang for your buck camera under $1,000 of 2017 after using it for a few weeks. By the way, it would be absolutely fantastic if you would consider subscribing. The camera itself has a 16 megapixel micro four thirds digital live MOS sensor. It also has a shutter shock mechanism, which along with the magnesium front panel reduces the shutter shock by about 90% compared to the G7. In addition to that, the G85 has 49-point contrast detect AF system and depth from defocus technology for faster focusing. And based on my experiences, the autofocus is actually pretty good, provided you have a good amount of light and you'll be satisfied, as long as it isn't the absolute main factor in choosing a camera. It also features a live viewfinder with a 0.74 times magnification ratio to capture almost exactly what you see. The lack of the low pass filter results in a 10% sharpness gain over the G7. That, along with the live MOS sensor and the Venus engine, render clear images with minimal noise, proving that size does not always matter. The ISO sensitivity ranges from 100 to 25,600 as well. Those are great features this camera packs, but the main attractions are the rugged weather sealing and the dual image stabilization, along with the 5-axis in-body image stabilization. As for the weather resistance, I can assure you that as long as the ports are sealed by the covers, the camera and the kit lens should definitely be splash and dust proof. I've used my camera in the water show at Disneyland and it got splashed, but it still works fine. Now, as for the image stabilization capability, it is wonderful. The kit lens has image stabilization built in and it performs incredibly well. The 5-axis in-body image stabilization is excellent as it reduces the micro jitter that our shaky hands tend to produce. The lens and body stabilization blend perfectly together to reduce most of the jerkiness that is present in handheld shots. I've used the camera handheld so many times and it works wonders. It reduces the shakiness on my hands and the need for a gimbal. The kit lens is flat out of steel. In fact, I feel like I robbed Panasonic. For $900 you can get the body only, but for only $100 more you can get a $500 lens, which you can either use or resell since the lens itself is in very high demand and almost always in back order. The zoom range is excellent at 12 to 60 millimeters. The aperture is f3.5 to 5.6, which is decent but not ideal for capturing bokeh shots that I absolutely love. It is also image stabilized and weather sealed. It was the only lens I took on a trip to Disneyland and the zoom range was perfect. While it isn't fantastic for capturing blurred background shots or shooting in low light, it is still a great deal and an awesome versatile lens. If you haven't already known, the G85 shoots up to 4K at 30 frames per second, which is amazing. While I have shot some clips in 4K, I wasn't able to export and my computer kept crashing, so this review and all the shots will be recorded in 1080p. You can rest assured that 4K video looks spectacular though. The G85 is a petite size for everyday travel. It's a perfect fit for my hand and has a robust DSLR-like feel from the magnesium build, which is so much better than the plasticky feel of the G7. The build quality is pretty good as the front plate is a magnesium alloy. It weighs in at 453 grams or 1 pound body only, and about 715 grams or 1.58 pounds with the 12 to 60 millimeter kit lens. The dimensions width by height by depth are 128 by 4 by 89 by 74.3 millimeters or 5 by 3.5 by 2.93 inches. The feathery lightweight along with the small size is ideal for run and gun shooting, which I sometimes use it for. Taking a look at the display, it is a 3-inch fully articulating LCD display. The colors are really accurate for the most part and I really love the full articulation as you don't really need a monitor. It's awesome for recording yourself and getting low angle shots. On the left side, you'll find a mic jack, a remote port, a mini HDMI port, and a micro USB port. On the right side, you'll find the redesigned SD card slot placement, unlike the G7's bottom placement. And on the bottom, there's a battery slot, the cord to 20 mount, and a connector for a battery grip, which is sold separately. As for battery life, the Panasonic advertises up to 330 shots, and it's pretty accurate. The G85 uses the Panasonic BLC12 PP battery, which is rated at 1200 mAh. The battery life is adequate for shooting video, but I'd recommend carrying a spare around because one might not last you a whole shoot, especially if you're shooting in 4K. Let's talk about functionality. Panasonic is renowned for their stellar simplicity of the menu system, and I'd have to say that it is really easy to navigate. Changing settings is a breeze and you won't be disappointed when you use it. This is definitely one of the easiest camera menus to use. The camera modes and dials are easy to adjust, as all you have to do is flick a switch, rotate a dial, or check the menu. Staying on the topic of settings, there's a wide variety of picture profiles you can select from. There are standard, vivid, natural, monochrome, L monochrome, scenery, portrait, custom, Cinelike D, and Cinelike V. An additional feature that this camera has is the Wi-Fi remote access. You can wirelessly send pictures to your phone by connecting to your camera's Wi-Fi network and launching the app. You can also remotely access your camera and view it through your phone. This feature was incredibly handy for me as I needed to transfer photos quickly when my aunt snagged me for photos I took. The images this camera produces are astounding. A shallow depth of field can be accomplished if you have the right lens. It boggles my mind how much you can achieve at this size and price point. Huge props to Panasonic for that. As for low light performance, the G85 performs decently. It's not ideal for low light situations because of the small sensor size, but the internals reduce the noise, which render the images usable. Now let's talk a little bit about stills. The G85 has a 16 megapixel shooter, and for most of my photography I've used this camera. As you can see here though, the Panasonic G85 produces amazing photos even using the auto mode. I was using the Panasonic 12-60mm f3.5 to 5.6 lens, which is priced at $500 and is able to stabilize harmoniously along with the in-body image stabilization, which helped to steadily take photos. So the question still stands, is the Panasonic G85 the best bang for your buck camera for $1,000? My answer to that is yes, but with a few conditions. To be able to effectively take advantage of this camera, you're gonna have to look past the marvelous features and get used to the small sensor size, which isn't even as bad as people make it out to be, the decent autofocus, and the adequate battery life. This is a perfect all-around videos and stills camera for anyone as long as you consider the unsubstantial gripes. Let me know down in the comment section below what you thought and if you would consider picking up a G85 in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you. Micro Four Thirds camera. The camera itself has a 16 megapixel Micro Four Thirds digital live mode sensor. The camera itself has a 16 The camera. It is also image stabilized. It is also image stabilized.